all the time. But what they think and what they like, I don't need nobody else to tell me I'm pretty. Tell me I'm pretty.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is Monday, April 12th, 2021, and you are listening to episode 111 of the Can I Say Something podcast. I'm your host and a recluse with a juicy caboose, Damien. Joining me today is...
Hey.
Today on the show, we will be discussing, with possible spoilers for everything involved, what we've been watching, including The Empty Man, Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4, and concluding with an in-depth review of the new Netflix film Bad Trip. Right into the show, bicycle@gmail.com, bicycle on Twitter, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, rate and review it on Apple Podcasts, tell a friend, family member, or stranger. What's up, Dion? How we doing?
Doing good, buddy. How are you?
Going pretty good, a lot better than it was yesterday. I don't know what's going on. I think, do you remember when we went to a club, we went to a rock show with Andy in I forget where it was, but it was a raucous show.
Girl from the rock show?
Fell in love with the girl from the rock show. I was getting so fucking drunk. I was a madman. I was a mad lad. I was doing the mad lad thing of running around, probably being annoying. Eventually somebody pushed me and I fell and tripped and hit the back of my head on the floor, on the speaker on the floor. Do you remember this?
Speaker, yeah.
Ring a bell? Yeah. So I'm thinking I get like, it did ring my bell. Exactly. So I'm thinking I get like residual headaches from that. I got a massive headache yesterday. I was out for like 4 hours yesterday. Felt like shit. I feel like shit quite a bit recently. I don't know if it's like a mold in my apartment or something, but yeah, I was out for
That's possible.
Quite a few hours yesterday. Yeah. So I'm feeling better today, but thank you for asking.
So you're saying that you have CTE from that speaker blow from how long ago would you say that was? Like 6 years ago?
At least 6 years ago. Yeah. What I'm thinking is, what would be kind of cool and not cool at the same time is if, I got cracked my skull and the crack is slowly, creeping its way to the front of my head. And just one day my head's just going to crack like an egg and just my brain's going to come pouring out. And it's be like, what the fuck happened? They're going to find out.
I have that same thought.
Yeah.
I have the same thought with like my muscle, like with my knee or something. I feel like if I ever, because I get sharp pain in it a lot, and I've always had sharp pain in it, and now it's making these weird noises, and it'd just be funny that if I actually went to go get it checked out, I found out I've been walking on like a torn meniscus for the last 4 years, and I never let it heal or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got a cracked skull and your brains are leaking out. Yeah, that's. I feel like you might have noticed that something might have given.
No, not leaking out. I'm saying my skull. You know how bridges over time will have one little crack will eventually just spread out, and that will cause the bridge to collapse one day out of nowhere, right? What I'm saying is I have a small crack was in the back of my skull, and over time, just doing whatever, moving my head back and forth, has slowly, minusculely by millimeters, it's been growing, and eventually. I'm gonna go to get an MRI, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you have a massive crack in your skull. What happened? And I'm like, well, 12 years ago.
There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, absolutely nothing you can do.
12 years ago, so you're saying you're not going to get it checked out for another 6 years. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
YOLO. At this point, like, what's the point?
Yeah, this is living life in America in 2021 where, unless your brains are literally leaking out of your head, you're just like, I can't afford the medical bill. I'm gonna just put some staples in my head, put some duct tape on that shit, and we'll see what happens. Yep.
Even if your brains were leaking out of it, you probably couldn't afford it.
No. Exactly. Yeah. So, anywho, let's move on to what's been making us happy this week. Do you want to talk about sheesh? Do you want to talk about sheesh?
No, I saw that in there, and I figured that was an appropriate time to use a sheesh.
Well, since you said it, now we have to talk about it.
All right, fine, go ahead.
Because this is weird. Let me back up. Let me talk about texting, because texting is weird. There was a sketch. Key and Peele did a sketch many years ago about misinterpreting the tone of sketches or text. It was a sketch about people misinterpreting the tone of texts. And K was one of them, and P was the other one in this sketch. And they kept going back and forth and being like, what do you want to do tonight? You want to go out? And P would be like, yeah, whatever you want to do. And then the P would be like, whatever you want to do. Look at this asshole, this piece of shit. Whatever you want to do. Okay, buddy. All right. Do you want to go get drinks here? Yeah, that sounds great. Do you want to invite Bill? Yeah, Bill's a great guy. And P was like, oh, Bill's a great guy. He's being Mr. Sarcastic over here. Bill's, just going on and on with shit like that. So we texted back and forth quite a bit, and I feel we had a misinterpretation this week of Aldo being like, I said to him like, yikes is the new Jeesh. We're saying Jeesh now. Throw out yikes. Throw that out. We're not saying yikes anymore. Just throw that out. And you know me. Everyone knows me, and I know you. We're the silly boys. We're the silly, fun boys, right? Boys. We're the silly boys. That's gonna be our tag team.
That. Is that nickname like solid, or are we still like workshopping?
We'll workshop it. We'll figure it out. But for now, let's just say the default placeholder name is the silly boys. So we're silly boys, right? I'm a silly boy, right? And so I said to him, from now on, just say sheesh. And he's like, nah, I'm just gonna. I say what I say, man.
Says what he says.
That's what I say. Yep. And I'm like, all right, buddy, all right. So, Mr. Serious Guy over here. All right. Next day, I'm like, hey, bro, do you know what, Andy saw Nomadland. We're talking about Nomadland. And I said, yeah, Andy was like, what is this? Is this a slice of life thing? And I'm like, well, actually, it's a fucking, if you listen to the pod, you would know it's called it's a fucking, what the hell was it called? I forgot the name of it.
Neo something?
It was a neo-realism thing, and you would know that, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked Aldo, have you heard of this? And he's like, nah. Or no, he said, like, what do you think, bro? And I'm like, fuck you, what do you think, bro? Don't give me this fucking what do you think, bro shit. And then just today I realized, he listens to the pod, so he would know from my description, or just in general, what that means. So, yeah. It's a very weird thing.
For that specific incident you're talking about, I think you were the only one that didn't get it. I feel like the disconnect might have been on your side. I feel like a couple times you were getting
that's what I'm saying.
Hostile, and I'm like,
yes, I was.
Damion's turning this up to 100 when something about Nomadland when Andy said it, and you were like, well, if you listen to the pod, and it's like, look at Damien's spitting out facts
issue.
Right now.
That's a different issue.
And then the Aldo thing, I was like, hey, you didn't get his obvious sarcasm, which you are right with the text not being able to convey.
Yes.
If you talk to Aldo frequently, you would understand what you were reading. You could hear it in his voice. I could hear everything that he was saying in his voice. So,
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a disconnect, and I think that might be because maybe you haven't talked with him face to face as much as someone like me or something.
Yeah, sure.
I was gonna kick out, and then I had to jump in and explain it to you. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I gotta find it.
He's fucking with you.
Yes, I realize that now, thinking, because the thing is, right, I haven't had any communication with somebody that's listened to the show. I've never had an email, never had a text of being like, hey, I listened to the show and blah, blah, blah. He doesn't say on a regular occasion, I listen to the show. So the fact that he listens to the show and the fact that he would know that from listening to the show, that completely whiffed on me. Again, I'm saying I whooshed hard.
Yep.
I was the whoosher. I was the whooshy.
Okay. I'm glad you can admit that. And folks, Damon's not always like this with our fans. He does appreciate mail and stuff like that. He will not be confrontational with you for the sake of being confrontational.
No.
So don't be scared to write in and make his dreams come true.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. The yeesh is, well, like I said yeesh. I think, it's a missing. We whooshed each other because I was like, we're saying, unless, here's the thing I was thinking too, when he said, I'm going to say, yikes, is he playing 5D chess where he's like, actually, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And that was the joke, is like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
Well, the thing is, all I was going to say what he's going to say, but also he's definitely winning this 5D chess game that you're playing because you're pretty much playing it. You're the only one probably losing sleep about this. After the yeesh, sheesh, yikes thing, he probably never thought of it again. And then the only other time he's going to think about it is when he listens to this pod and is like, oh my God, Damien actually lost sleep about this. Like, that poor man. So I would say in that exchange, I think Aldo won the 5D chess match
the way
that
to
you
win,
were playing.
The way to win the chess game is to not play, and that's how he won. Yeah, okay. Got you.
See? Perfect.
So anyways, in reverse here, back to what's making us happy this week. Let's have a palate cleanser of what's making us happy this week. Loki trailer came out. Loki looks fucking amazing. Did you see this trailer?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? Love it.
Yep.
Love everything they're going for.
Looking strong.
Yeah.
Looking mischievous.
He does. Yeah, he looks like a sneaky boy, very sneaky boy.
Yep.
Do you think this is going to be a permanent thing? Do you think he's going to be like Gamora in Endgame, where we have an alternate Gamora subbing in for the dead Gamora? Do you think Loki's going to sub in for the dead Loki in our universe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if his role is going to be huge. It very well could be, but I don't think Loki's ever going to leave this series completely.
No,
he's got way too many tricks up his sleeve, and there's way too many Lokis for him to just disappear and never hear from him again.
Okay, yeah. Really, really great trailer. I love the look of the show. Can't wait for that. Box Monster. Moving on, we got Monster box office results from Godzilla versus Kong. It's going to make $300 million. I think so. I got an updated article here from April 10th from today. Godzilla vs. Kong has topped 60 million, but that is just at the domestic box office. That's not everything altogether. This article is mainly pointing out that it's going to make 60 million at the box office, which is the best at the during the pandemic, which isn't really saying much, right? Previously, Tenet was the box office record holder over the pandemic period with 58.5 million, which it secured in its theatrical run in 2020. That's actually a lot. Didn't realize it made that much. Considering it was last year.
People had to go watch it twice.
To understand it, exactly.
Yep.
Let's see. The third highest grossing of the pandemic is Crude's A New Age, which secured 56.5 million. So there are, it opened in 3,000 theaters, which sounds like a lot, but I don't know how many there is altogether, but that is actually a low number, 3,000 theaters.
I feel like there's probably 3,000 in like one
state
chain.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
what do those numbers tell you?
I mean,
do you
coming
think
back.
that Godzilla Kong was a rousing success? Is this a good sign for the movie world, or do you think people are just bored and they didn't care what movie it was? Could some kind of Barbie movie could have pulled those kind of numbers? Just being the first movie that is back into the theaters or something.
Yeah, this is the question I was asking you last week. Was like, are people excited about this? Is this the movie of the now? Is this in the zeitgeist now? Because of it's a good movie, it's an exciting movie, or it's the first movie coming out, first big movie of the pandemic. And I think it's all of those things. I think it's all of those things. Yeah. People are ravenous to get back in the theaters, and it didn't really matter. It could have been just a piece of shit movie, but this is actually doing all of the things it's supposed to do and doing them well. So I think the fact that
people are talking about it more and more people are going to see it. Yeah, people are talking about it. It's a whole cycle of the draw, the water cooler talk of it is bringing people to the theater. We're getting the vaccines. I think vaccines have a huge part of it. People that are on their second shot or whatever are be able to go now. So yeah, I think all of that. My first one next week.
Are you?
Yep.
Nice. Congrats.
Asthma finally paid off. Booyah!
Is that what it was? Is that your pre-existing condition to get yourself in there?
Yeah, it went from 2 conditions, and then the one condition people can get it, and then after I think like in a week or maybe even 2, it's open to everybody. So, nice. Adults, but yeah.
I wonder where the autists are on that list. Do you think the autists can get in there? Is that like
that's a condition, 3? Right? So I would say
condition.
They'd definitely be the one. I'd be competing with the autists right now. Yep.
Oh, shit.
I'm just saying by your example. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, good for it. Good for them. Can't wait for another one. Can't wait for the movies to open. I was thinking about texting you. Do you want to at some point go to the theater and see Nobody, because that's out around here. So
you want to see a movie?
Do you want to see a movie? Yep. So moving on. What else is making me happy this week? Rocket League Season 3 premiered this week. So all the ranks are reset. As you know, back in the day, we used to do the rank placements. I don't know if we did it in one night or 2 nights, but basically you get 10 games, you play 10 games, and based on your winning record, you get placed in the appropriate tier. It goes from bronze to Grandmaster. Bronze is the lowest, Grandmaster is the highest, obviously. The highest I have ever placed was low to mid diamond. This week I placed Diamond 3 Division 2. So the way it works is you have 3 tiers for each level. I don't know what you call it, but you go from bronze 1 to bronze 3 up to Grandmaster 1 to Grandmaster 3. So I'm in Diamond 3 Division 2, and each tier has 4 divisions. So I have to rank up 2 more times, actually 3 more times. I have to go from Division 2 to 3 to 4. And then once I'm in 4, I have to win like 2 or 3 games to ascend to the next tier. And the next tier is the highest tier I have ever gotten into. Never gotten Master, which is the next tier up. So very as close as I ever been.
So between
to
Diamond
rank.
is Master? Between Diamond and Grandmaster is Master?
Yes, sir. Yes, correct.
Okay. I wasn't aware there was a Master in there. I thought it went Diamond Grandmaster.
Nope. There's a tier for Master than Grandmaster. I think they just added another one when Epic bought them. I forget what the name of it is. Like Relic tier.
Yeah, I think the highest I ever got was Gold.
Gold, yeah. Yeah. I think it's possible. I think it was that. What was that? Let's see. Season 4, Season 8. What is it? Bronze to Platinum, Champion, Grand Champion, Super Champ. I got Super Champ.
Super Champ.
Super Champ.
That goes with my name, Super Camp.
Super Camp. Yep. So I was kind of surprised. Huh? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you're saying you asked if I remember the placement,
Yep.
Rocket League stuff, and it's like, yeah, of course I do. Those were equally the best of times and the worst of times. You trying to carry us, me and Andy, to a higher ranking. Yeah. And it's funny because you're like, there's like this, you would say that there's like this spot in Rocket League where you kind of got to break out of. It's like a zone of mediocrity, and that zone is so big. If you could just break above that level, it's like it's the difference between a bunch of noobs playing and people that actually understand the appropriate technique to excel at this game. And I'm stuck in that mediocre zone. And your efforts to lift me and Andy out of those that pit of despair were all for naught, because obviously it didn't happen. And hell, I don't know if you and Andy are even friends anymore. And I know I haven't played Rocket League with you since. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny that you're like, oh yeah, you remember those placement tests? It's like, yeah, I remember. I remember.
Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. No, I'm like, what would you say you're now? Like, I'm Goku and you're Chaozu. If we're talking about Rocket League. Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, that's mean. Chaozu is my dude.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm Krillin. I'm Krillin.
Krillin, yeah. You're Krillin, okay.
Krillin without a power creep.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not okay. Let me take that back. I'm not Goku. I'm Goku would make Grandmaster.
You'd be Grandmaster if you were Goku.
That'd be Super Grandmaster. I'm who's a guy that could like not die? If Goku was like, hey, I need your help.
Not die? Literally every one of them dies. I could say you're probably like, I suppose you'd be Vegeta. Well, no. I
feel like I'd be Vegeta.
Vegeta is like a little bit less than Goku, so I mean, I guess that applies to your
I don't know,
math. That you're not the best, but you're second best, I suppose.
Yeah,
I guess that's what you were getting at. Either way, I think my Krillin was apt. I'm competent.
Yeah, competent. Yeah.
I'm reliable.
Yeah,
but you can't ask me to do too much. I'm definitely not like Yamcha or anything like that.
Yamcha, okay. Nobody's Yamcha. That I would never insult you comparing you to Yamcha.
What about Piccolo? What if I called you Piccolo?
Well, the thing is, like now I'm saying, like
I think you're better than Piccolo.
Dragon Ball Super Piccolo. What can Piccolo even compete in the tournament? Like, what would?
Well, I mean, Krillin was up in that tournament too. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Gotcha.
they all. No, actually, I'll go even further and say Master Roshi was in that tournament.
Ooh.
In Super.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
wow.
and he actually had this moment where he took out a dude. So.
Wow.
These are the strongest people. Everybody got a power creep. So.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Yep.
So yeah, that's I'm having fun. At that level, you've played so many games that you're just like, I have these moments where 30 seconds in, I'm just like, yeah, I know that this person is not going to, we're not going to do that. We're not going to succeed. I played so many games that within, 30 seconds of the guy not passing or me, us just not connecting, at that level, everyone is good. Everyone can make the shots. Everyone can make the plays, right? But at a certain level, you have to gel completely with the person from the get-go, from second one. Either you do that or you lose. So it's very interesting at that level.
Teammate wants to forfeit, vote.
Yeah, exactly. So, yep, good times. Deanne, what's been making you happy this week?
Finally got a week of good weather. That's what's making me happy. I've been outside. Nice. My workouts this week were reduced because I started a screen project screens for my porch because we've had such vicious winds. Literally tore all the woods off my screens, and they're just kind of like hanging by their staples now. So going through rebuilding that. It's a nice little project. It already set me back $200. I went to Home Depot to cut the trim, and I brought these measurements with me. Hilarious story. I measured one. I cut 6 pieces of wood at 3.5 feet long, and I don't know what I was measuring because there is no piece of wood that I needed that was 3.5 feet long. So when I brought it back, I'm like, let's see if all these fit. And I'm like, what the fuck was this? What was I thinking? I don't understand the math behind this. Like, how did I mess this up so badly? And I was explaining this to Carrie, and I told her how I messed up these measurements and everything, and then I sent her a GIF. It was Forrest Gump saying, "I am not a smart man." I was completely shocked that I don't understand fractions, and. My kid just recently got my 6-year-old got a 93 on a math test, and I'm thinking about asking him to tutor me or something because I'm in trouble, man. I'm in trouble. But despite that, I'm having fun. I put together one screen. I just said screw it and just started piecing together whatever I had like a puzzle. It worked out. I'm gonna have to go back to Home Depot and hopefully my math skills improve by then. But we'll see how it goes. It took me about 7 hours to make one of these things. These things, the screens are bigger than me. And I have 3 more small ones like that, and then I have 3 big ones that I need to do. So it's going to be a project, like a probably all summer long project.
And what are you putting these on?
What's that?
What are you putting the screens on?
Wood. So I got the wood frame, which is still intact. Luckily, I don't have to rebuild those. So I just take the screen, I cut it out, staple it to it, and then I put the wood trim around it to hold it in place, nail that down. I got to paint all these too. They were green, but the green was getting worn out. So we're painting them black to match the rest of the house, the trim of the house. And it looks good, but it's just going to be a project.
What is the project? Because you said you're putting screen.
I'm replacing all my screens on my porch. My porch is screened in.
See that?
So
okay.
yeah,
Nice.
like they're all screens on these wood frames, and I just take them off, and I gotta rebuild I gotta put screens on. I gotta paint everything. I gotta put the trims back on and put them in place, and yeah, lots of stuff.
Very cool.
Yep. Pretty expensive. I wasn't expecting it to be as expensive as it was, so I'm gonna need a raise.
yeah. I have.
I got my motorcycle out.
Yep.
That's been great. Yep. Last year I was like, do I even want to ride a motorcycle anymore? I had this R6 chilling in my shed. I'm like, you know what? I haven't ridden in like a year. I think I might sell it. Whoever, best offer. I might even just give it to somebody. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get it fixed. I'm going to ride it, see if I still want it. And I rode it, and I had an erection that lasted for more than 4 hours. So I decided to keep it, and now here we are. I got it out again.
Yeah, get that checked out.
Yeah. No, I just ride with an erection. It's fine.
Okay, good. Let's see. So we did the hot takes. Oh, rest in peace, Prince Philip. For posterity's sake, Prince Philip died yesterday, Saturday, April 9th, 2021, at the ripe old age of 99 years old. So that happened.
Yeah, Carrie was depressed that he didn't make it to 100. He was so close.
So close, yep. And also, we lost DMX. Do you know what DMX stood for?
Sad barking noises. No, go ahead, tell me.
Dark Man X.
Dark Man X.
That's what he said, yeah. Apparently...
Sounds like a Mega Man villain.
If you go on his Wikipedia, it's a bunch of... what do you call it? Attempts to understand or rumors about what DMX might have, where he got his name from. One of them said like the what do you call it? The rhythm board, the beat board, however those guys made the beats back in the day. There was one called like Boinger DMX something. So could have been that as well. Yep.
I thought it might have been just that. He was a troubled man.
Oh yeah,
some dark past. So,
yeah.
I wonder if you had that playing into it. Yeah, rip them, though.
Rip that.
Hey, what was your favorite Prince Philip song?
Trying to think of something Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, on the beach. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. He had to be involved, right? He had to be involved. There's no way.
I don't think he wasn't involved.
His son.
I feel like he might just turn the other way.
Is his son Prince Andrew, right? Or his brother?
I don't know. You'd have to get carried on there. She's the expert.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, rip him. Sorry to Queen Mary? What the fuck? Queen Elizabeth. Sorry to her.
I've seen so many memes. I've already seen her fake Tinder profile.
Oh no.
I assume it's fake.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is like recently single. She's like, oh yeah, I'm 5'3", because apparently that matters. So yeah, it's been a wild week for the memes. I've seen a lot with Philip and DMX holding hands, going up the stairway to heaven, and see it. It's like, come join us, and I don't know. It's funny. It's been a. I mean, I'm not saying it's funny they died, but the reaction, the memes have been pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Memes are great. So let's move on to what we've been watching. I finished Ted Lasso last Sunday, I think. I don't know, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was. Very, very good show. One of the best shows I've seen this year. If I had to rank them right now, and your list would be Ted Lasso number 1. Really great, heartwarming. Again, like I said last week, nice, just a nice show. Nice guy doing nice things for people. There is a speech that he gives to one of the players. One of the players he benched him because he was doing bad, and then the next day he's like, I'm sick, I can't practice. So then Ted Lasso comes into the room and he's like, why can't you practice? And he's like, hurt. Then Ted Lasso's like, oh, you're hurt. Okay, all right, that's fine. So, it's just practice. We're just talking about practice. What are we talking about? We're talking about practice. Not the game. No, not the game. We're talking about practice. He does the entire Allen Iverson speech word for word, and it was fucking hilarious. I was like, wait a second, they're not doing this. They're not fucking doing this. And they did the whole thing. And it actually worked. Like, it wasn't like just a meme. It wasn't just like, here's this speech for the sake of it. Like, they actually weaved it into the story. They replaced some words for the guy's name and stuff like that, but really well done. Really well done.
How long did it take you to figure out what they were doing?
I got it like from the first, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
A couple seconds. Yeah. Very good. Very funny. That's Ted Lasso on the Apple TV Plus.
I wish I had Apple Plus. I would have watched that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing where if you don't redeem it, like it's a coupon, you can redeem it any time when you get an iPhone for Apple TV, because that's how I got mine for free for a year when you get a new phone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Also,
I got a different thing for free. I had an option. Apple TV wasn't one of them. I don't think Apple TV was a thing when I got my phone. So.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's not, and maybe it's not a thing you can redeem. Listen to half of Mike Nichols, a book about Mike Nichols by Mark Harris called A Life. It's a biography of Mike Nichols. If you're not familiar with this guy, he was the director of The Graduate, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, The Birdcage, and Charlie Wilson's War. Very influential director from the 60s and 70s, and a couple from recently. Very famous life, very interesting life he led. He was friends with Jackie Kennedy for a long time. I guess there was a thing back then, a couple things back then were pretty shocking, of just like, Virginia Woolf. I don't know if you've seen the movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
I have not.
So one of the big things about this movie was that they didn't have PG-13 or R ratings back then. This was like 1966, I want to say. So it was a morality review board that said, your movie gets to go out or not. There was no ratings. It wasn't anything like that. It was either you get to, distribute your movie or not. And so to get the movie released, they had to change some words around. They couldn't say like bastard or God damn you or shit like that. Again, this is like 1966. So those words were very controversial to be seen in a movie even then. So he had to work around that. He had to make a lot of changes for that. Eventually he asked his friend Jackie Kennedy to go into the viewing that the review board was going to watch the movie in and say like, yeah, that was a very nice movie. And so that was interesting that she basically got that movie to be released. And what was I going to say? Oh, back then, these stories of just living life as a woman back then. Mike Nichols was in a hotel with a friend of his, a female friend. I don't know if they were dating or what, but or no, she was married, so they were just like a work meeting or whatever. And he was telling the story about, this is in 1964, and so she couldn't order room service if they weren't married. Like, that is fucking crazy. Like, to just think about back then, that if you were a single female woman, that you couldn't order room service if you were single. That's fucking crazy. Very good book so far. Very interesting. Mike Nichols biography by Mark Harris.
I was listening to something else that had like that female perspective. I forget what it was, but it was. Maybe I was reading something about it. It was like Mozart or something. He had a sister that was equally talented at playing, at being musical. And she could like, really compete with him. But the thing was, like, she was obviously needed to be married off to somebody. So when she was married off, like, she had to stop doing all of that. And it opened up the thing where it was kind of like, all right, well, I'm not sure if it was Mozart. It was some kind of musical composer. But anyways, he had the sister was like equally as talented, but she had to shut it down because she just had to be someone's wife. So you wonder how many things like it were just suppressed from that time period. You're talking about just room service or something. I don't know why this made it think there was like a comparison, but it's just how many things have mankind missed out on because this person was a woman or maybe this person was black and there was no place for them to have those kind of opinions or talent in that white society or something. I don't know. I suppose that's something that should be like aware of, but I don't know. Maybe I just never really considered that. Like, shit, maybe there was a black Einstein. Like, you would have no idea.
Yeah, not even
I just thought that was very.
Yeah, not even like a black Einstein or a black person living in America. Just like how many people living in, Ukraine or China or Africa, anywhere like that isn't, you can't just go to a university and study and, practice get your genius out there, put your genius abilities to work. That where you're just in you're the cosmos. You were just born into the wrong place at the wrong time. Where you have a genius ability to be a pianist or a singer or you're a really good athlete, or you're a composer or whatever, but you were just born in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yep. Crazy.
Yeah. Did you hear about Karl Marx's sister? Karl Marx, the economist. Did you hear about his sister?
No.
She revolutionized the sport of running, and her name was Anya Marx. Did you hear about her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our show, folks.
Let me go through this last one. The Empty Man, starring James Badgedale. It's about a guy on the trail of a missing girl. An ex-cop comes across a secretive group attempting to summon a terrifying supernatural entity. So this was on The Big Picture this week. They talked about this movie, and they talked about Bad Trip, our movie of the week, and both are very good. The Empty Man, it's very interesting because I feel like when you have horror movies, they come in cycles, right? You had Scream, which did the meta thing, which took apart the horror movie tropes, right? And they exposed them and they made them, not as, what do you call them? Secretive. Like you just like
farce.
Yeah, they made a farce out of it, right? So you couldn't really make a straight ahead horror movie for a long time after Scream came out. And then they did the same thing with the Scary Movie, franchise. And I feel like the same thing should have happened with Slender Man. Like this idea of a meme, creepy guy, this creepy figure in the darkness became a meme, and then those teenage girls actually killed somebody. So I feel like a horror movie based off the idea of, kids doing not a meme, but like an action. Like in this movie, basically they have a bottle, and the thing is, you summon the Empty Man by standing on a bridge and blowing into a bottle. So that seems like in 2020, that's just like, let me do this thing for TikTok. Let me do this TikTok, Empty Man challenge. Guys, I'm here on a bridge in the middle of Mississippi. I'm going to blow in this bottle, and we're going to summon Empty Man. TikTok, woo! And just, I can see that happening. But that's the plot of this movie, and it's very interesting that you can watch this and take it seriously. In this age of, stupid kids doing stupid meme shit on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I want. You frequent TikTok. How much of this supernatural stuff have you seen anything like that? It's funny you bring that up because I don't feel like I see any of that. Yeah. You see like other challenges, other dumb challenges, but you don't see anything like, I'm going to stand on this bridge and blow this bottle and summon Lazarus or whatever.
It's so bad. It's so stupid. Like so much of the I'm in the woods, or I'm in a house by myself and I hear this weird scratching at the door, blah, blah, blah. It's always something stupid. It's always, I forgot my husband was on vacation. He's coming home early. Oh, I forgot my fucking cat was outside. It's always something fucking stupid, or it's debunked right away, or somebody asks a question of like, well, how are you hearing that noise over there if there's a thing over there? It's all fucking dumb. I've seen a couple of them where, again, like it's just somebody being dumb. Like this person got famous for being a sleepwalker, and it's obviously fake. There's so much dumb shit trying to be like, oh my God, guys, I heard a fucking noise in the middle of the night. I don't know what it is. And it's just like, fuck, shut the fuck up. You're alive. You posted this. You edited it. So you're fine. Don't, it's all, yeah, none of that. To answer your question, no. There's no spooky shit on TikTok that I've seen so far that has affected me in any way. No. Nope.
Okay. But yeah. I mean, you've watched a lot of shit, so
I've watched a lot of shit.
You're just numb. Yeah,
or they're just dumb. Or they're just dumb. Or we're just living on a rock circling the sun, and we're all alone, and there are no aliens. There is no supernatural thing. There is no Jesus coming back to save us. We're all alone in the universe, and that to me is the scariest thought to myself. Yeah, exactly. There's no ghost. There's no what else is there? Ghost, aliens. What's the third thing? Demons or
ghost aliens.
Aliens. Cryptids.
Oh yeah.
Loch Ness monster.
I don't remember what the other one was.
Sasquatch. There's nothing out there. We're all alone. Sorry, people.
Man,
we're all gonna die alone.
You see it's black.
Yeah, but no, I've never seen a good TikTok making me scared of the thing that they're seeing now.
Jesus.
But anyways,
we should have signed off after that joke. Jeez, now everyone's sad. Bring him up, dude. Bring him up.
Very good movie. Highly recommend. Yeah, it does that thing very well. So yep, that's on Amazon. I think I rented it for like $5, so $6. But that was because it was in is in 4K. So you can probably get the regular HD version for like $4,
yes.
$3. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's move on. Do you want to talk about, well, before Winter Soldier, do you have anything else you saw this week you watched other than what's on the list?
Actually, yeah, I got back into The Witcher.
Nice.
And it's funny because I've gotten to I restarted. I think I got to episode 3 because episode 3 I didn't remember anything that was happening. So I'm finally back to the point that I was before. And Henry Cavill does a very good Geralt impersonation.
Yeah, he does.
For anyone that's actually played The Witcher. And just hearing him say, "Roach, come here, Roach." Yeah, things like that. So far, it's been a pretty boring. 2 nights in a row, I've fallen asleep. I've watched the first episode, and then I'll start watching the second one. Or in the next day, I watched the second episode and started watching the third one. And each time, I've fallen asleep. Whether that's actually because I'm tired or because it wasn't really doing it for me, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm on episode 4 now, so I'm officially past the point that I was at. And I like The Witcher. I played the shit out of that game. In fact, I played that game for like an entire year, and there was a lot of breaks in between. But I made it like my goal. It's like, oh, on the map, there's a question mark there. Have you played you played Witcher?
Yeah, I played.
So
all
you
the way
remember
through,
the map, how there were question marks everywhere.
Everywhere. Yep,
you
massive.
Explore this area, find, and sometimes you're just finding a treasure. That's it.
Yep.
But I would make it my goal where it's just like, all right, I went from one question mark to the next question mark to the next question mark. I mean, it was a challenge for me to actually stick to the storyline at times, but I just had it in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna find out what all of these things are, and that's a lost cause. Anyone who had time to do that is absolutely insane. So I mean, I like the game, and I don't have anything bad to say about the series, I guess. Obviously I'm only on episode 4, so things haven't really been picking up too much, but I decided to get back into it because there was a season 2 coming out, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's a good watch. I heard that people said that the season 1 was kind of confusing, timeline wise.
Yeah, it was a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, so I'll have more to say probably in the coming weeks, but I'm having fun with it. But
Nice,
besides that, that's really the only thing that I watched.
All right. One thing.
Besides the things that.
One thing I want to mention, we called an audible right before the show. We were going to make Thunder Force the movie of the week, but I'll talk about it right now real quick. It was fine for what it was. I think this has like 20% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. People are 20. I believe so. I believe that's what it was. The last time I checked. That's
a damn crime.
Not really. It's not that great.
I am having fun with this movie, man.
Well,
this movie is great.
You can have fun and with a movie that's not great. And
it might be a hot take to say, but I've only watched half of Thunder Force, and I watched all of Bad Trip.
Yep.
And Thunder Force blows it out of the water. Spoiler for anybody that's going to stick around for the Bad Trip review. But I think we should have kept Thunder Force. The thing was, there was a miscommunication, folks. There was a miscommunication. Damien heard the big picture, and he decided he wanted an audible to Bad Trip being the movie of the week. And I didn't respond because I just assumed that was what was happening. And there's a little bit of a, I should respond to him more. I get it. I do. But I didn't. I just assumed that's where we're going with it. And then I saw the outline, and Thunder Force was still the movie of the week. So I had to try to fit it in before this pod, and I couldn't do it. I didn't have enough time.
Yeah, it's fine.
But from what I have seen, Thunder Force is a better movie. So go ahead, continue about Thunder Force.
Oh boy. So Rotten Tomatoes is like dead. I think a bunch of sites just went down recently. I was trying to order DoorDash, and DoorDash was like, "We're shit. We shit the bed." I'm trying to go to Rotten Tomatoes. Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes. Weird. Yeah. Okay, so Rotten Tomatoes is DOS Attack.
Is it the Russians?
It's the Russians. They got us. So Rotten Tomatoes is not loading, but I did see. So it's got a 3 point something on IMDb. Pretty sure it said, okay, so IMDb gives it a 4.2. So my review, here we go. My review of Thunder Force. It's fine. It is what it is. It is absolutely fine.
Okay. I come out and say Nomadland's fine, but you come out and say Thunder Force is fine, and I'm just supposed to accept that. Okay.
Yep. Okay, you can. You can accept anything you want. It's America. Let me see. What am I going to say here? So this is not. So Melissa McCarthy, right? She does a thing. She does the funny, chubby, awkward woman thing, right? In almost every movie. Can we agree on that?
Yep.
Okay, so she's doing that again here, right? So again, just sort of doing the same.
Definitely doing that thing.
She's repeating her same shtick over and over again, and that right there is a mark right there for me on this movie. Octavia Spencer, I feel like good actress, great actress. I'll say that. I'll correct myself right off the bat. Great actress. I don't think she's keeping up with Melissa McCarthy's on her comedic level. I feel like she's going by the script, and Melissa McCarthy is just riffing. She's just going off script. She's ad-libbing all over the place, and I don't think Octavia Spencer is keeping up with her. Yeah,
I got that vibe too. Also, I feel like Olivia Colman, she was like, yeah, this movie sounds fun. And then like, as she started doing it, she's like, this movie sucks. Why'd I do this? Like, I feel like that's the way her acting is coming out right now.
Who's Olivia Colman?
Like, this was a mistake.
Who's Olivia Colman, the white British woman? You confuse Olivia Colman.
I'm sorry. What did I say? Olivia, what's her name?
Octavia Spencer is a black woman.
Octavia Spencer, that's what I meant. Oh yeah, I meant her. Yes, I'm so sorry.
Like Olivia Colman, everyone. The white British woman.
I'm stuck on her. I think I confused something with Olivia Colman like 2 weeks ago too. Like, it's just, it's the Philip thing. I'm so messed up about Prince Philip that I just think I can't get Olivia Colman on my head. How is she handling this? I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. Let me tangent.
But anyways, yes.
Well, can I just tangent
Octavia
real quick?
Spencer. I feel like she was just like, this was a mistake. This is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
Sure.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go.
Well, I was in a tangent to the father real quick because you said you confused Olivia Colman with this Octavia Spencer. That's weird. But what isn't weird is confusing Olivia Colman with Olivia Williams. Olivia Williams was Bruce Willis's wife in The Sixth Sense, and they both British, both older women. So they had them both in The Father, which is interesting way to use them. But going back to Thunder,
I don't remember saying Olivia Williams. I think you might have misheard that. I meant Olivia Colman.
I know, but the point of what you just said was that you confused Olivia Colman, and I said, speaking of confusing Olivia Colman. Okay, so
you would have forgiven that one. I
would have. Yep,
I understand.
Going back to Thunder Force, so I feel like let's see, Ben Falcone is directing this. Ben Falcone is the husband of Melissa McCarthy, and this is another film that they made together. And I feel like they think they're very funny together. I feel like they're married and they're like, hey, we're funny people. Let's make a funny movie with each other. We're funny. We get each other's humor. We work together well. Let's do a funny movie. And I'm just going to look up her, Melissa McCarthy's recent movies. I believe this is like the third one in a row she's done with her husband, if I'm not mistaken. So she did The Heat. Oh, she did The Happy Time Murders, which wasn't great. It's got 23% in Rotten Tomatoes. Then she was in Life of the Party, which is a 38 on Rotten Tomatoes. So there's been a bunch of movies just recently. The Heat, too, with Sandra Bullock. Just a bunch of poo-poo movies she's made recently. And she's in a rut. I think Melissa McCarthy's in a rut of just making these type of movies over and over again. Like the beginning,
doing the Adam Sandler thing.
Doing the Adam Sandler thing again. This is fine. Like if you like these movies, it's fine. I'm saying I don't like these movies. I think we need to make a major distinction here between I don't like this and I like that, and this is a bad thing. Go ahead. Literally, go ahead and like this. I literally don't care. But all I'm saying is this is poo poo. This is caca poo poo.
You don't care. What if someone came up? What if your coworker came up to you, the same one that was talking about the Avengers stuff, and the same one talking about the Avengers, and they're like, "Hey, I watched Thunder Force. That's a good movie. Do you think they'll ever have like a crossover like with Thunder Force and Marvel?"
No.
What would your reaction be right there? Would you just be like?
They would never have that reaction.
Stop talking. You're fired.
If somebody says to me,
I don't have the power to fire you, but you're fired.
My coworker who never listens to this, that brings me to work every day, my boss actually. Nice guy, very nice guy, good boss, my favorite boss of all time. He
gives you a ride.
He gives me a ride, yes. But just a good dude in general. He has very interesting tastes in things, let's say. He what did he watch the other week? That new Russell Crowe movie. What was that? Unhinged, whatever it was. It looks terrible. It's got like a 2.5 on IMDb. Looks terrible. I've never watched it. He was like, yeah, that's a good movie. I enjoyed myself. If you enjoy yourself, that's fine. I'm not trying to yuck your yum. I'm not trying to shit on the thing you like. All I'm saying is this is not this. I don't prefer this. Yes, you gonna say something?
Blink twice if he's listening.
Oh my God. You just can't get over this fact that I don't give a fuck if you like it. I'm just saying this is poo-poo. This is a poo-poo. This is a poo-poo.
I'm just fucking with you. I know. Okay. I get it. I get it. I understand.
Am I being whooshed right now? Are you whooshing me? Am I currently being whooshed?
I mean, yeah, you got whooshed a bit.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how far I can take it.
But no, it's not true. You're not whooshing me because you say these things all the time of like, you're an idiot.
Well,
you're an idiot for not
liking that. The fact that you buy into it. The fact that you buy into it is you getting whooshed.
No,
the fact that you are indulging me.
But you say all the time like, I can't believe you don't like this, or no, you say like, this is dumb. You kind of like that. Okay, let's take this movie for example, right? You kind of like this movie, correct? You said you liked this. You enjoyed parts of what you saw, right?
Yeah, I like this movie. I got it at a sweet 7 right now.
A 7, okay. That's strong. But it's just,
I'm not whooshing you. That's not a whoosh.
Let me tell you what I like about this movie and what I don't like. Let me try to finalize this because we're going long already.
Yeah.
The beats of this movie that work for me are her being funny and her saying funny things. The problem is she needs to mix those saying funny things and being an awkward, funny person with the action set pieces. I feel like there's a clear distinction, a clear delineation between her being funny and her having these funny dialogue moments, and the action is a wholly other separate entity. Because if you go back and watch this, there really was no dialogue during the action set pieces. And the thing that makes the Avengers movies so exciting and so funny and just, great is that during the fight scenes, during all these action set pieces, Tony's talking, Cap's talking, Spider-Man's talking, obviously. They have witty banter during the fight itself. And I feel like as soon as the fights kicked off, zero dialogue happened, right? Am I wrong about that? Or was I missing something? Or
I just watched the fight inside the restaurant with her buddy, and they were calling each other nerds a lot, and the eyebrowless blonde chick, she was like, I don't know, she was saying and she's like shooting lightning bolt, and then like shoots a lightning bolt, not lightning bolt. So I mean, there is dialogue going on. I feel like they are kind of chatty. So I don't know, maybe you were in a you were already in a mood at that point and just like, and nothing they could have done was, I mean, if you're comparing it to Avengers level dialogue, banter, then it doesn't compete. It doesn't hold up.
Sure.
I would say my gripe with the fight scenes is that you can tell that she's, I mean, they're obviously both bigger gals, and I feel like maybe their athleticism was a little bit limited because there was there are multiple fights where Melissa McCarthy just stands there and she jumps up and it's like all right, let's go, and their version of like dodging something is kind of just like tipping their head to the side as the blast goes by. So it's like, all right, I understand. I see there are limitations here. I can see that being a gripe.
Yeah, she's very funny. Melissa McCarthy is a very funny person. I enjoyed all the stuff where she's like getting the injections and she's like, what are the side effects? And she's like, what are you going to shit your pants? And I'm like, yeah, diarrhea is 100% chance of that.
So at least it's not explosive diarrhea. It's like, oh, well, no, that's a given. That's 100% going to happen. Oh, no.
Yeah. I enjoyed like the first 20%, not 20 minutes. The first like 1/3 was very good. It was all that stuff, all that Melissa McCarthy being weird, being awkward, being funny. That worked for me. It was just when they moved into the plot and it's such a like by the numbers thing. Is my main criticism is just one of those. Like you have the main bad guy being scary and intimidating, but also at the very end of the speech saying something awkward. Like, was the guy's name Andy? Andrew? Bob, whatever.
Andy.
Yeah, and he's like
Andy Pandy.
He's like, remind me to kill that guy. God damn it, Andy died. I was gonna kill him myself. And just, that's been done to death. I feel like that's a horse that's been beaten like 20 years ago. So just a lot of tropes.
You think it was funny when Jason Bateman was just like, kind of, he's like, come on, you're killing the good henchman. Like, stop killing the good henchman.
But that's
he kills the other one. It was just like, he was like, okay, you remember how you killed Derek? Well, Craig was better than Derek.
Listen, it had funny moments. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it's treading the same routes. It's going.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's absolutely a formula.
A formula, yes.
It's a formula movie.
Formulaic movie, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And this time it was a superhero. It's like when Will Ferrell just puts out, like, all right, I've done this sport, now what?
Yes.
Oh, racing. Then what?
Exactly.
Children's soccer. Then what?
It's exactly.
So now we're in superhero mode. Superhero mode is huge right now. So obviously there's going to be spoof superhero stuff. You know, you had The Boys, which was a more gritty version of things, and now you've got you've got this Thunder Force. Well, then you're going to see more of that too.
Yes.
So,
yeah, indeed. I very formulaic. Yes, is the worst thing I could say about the movie. But anyways,
I enjoy her physical comedy.
Yes, I do as well. She does that very well.
It's something about, I don't want to be offensive here when I say it, but large person falling down.
Yeah,
it's
always funny.
It's always funny.
The main problem.
The way she does it.
Yeah,
it's I don't know if it's actually her taking the stunts or whatever, but there was the one where she was like in the training the boxing stuff, or no, she was testing her vertical leap.
Yeah,
and her foot got caught and she just wipes out over and she's like scorpions.
Yeah,
like hilarious.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop laughing.
So yeah, that's Thunder Force. That's on Netflix. Moving on, we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4. The whole world is watching. So I have a couple questions here that I wrote out before this episode, just general questions about the show and about the MCU going forward. How does the shield work? Is it lighter? Is it a lighter version of the original Captain America shield? Is it made for non-superhero people? Or was John Walker juiced from the beginning? So that last question was answered in this episode, but what is the deal? What is the deal with the shield? Is it lighter, do you think? Is it a different shield than Cap shield? Different type?
No, I think it's the same one.
But how is he?
The same one, right?
How is a regular man chucking the shield like he was? Like not specifically in the episodes we've seen him in, but at the very beginning we saw him doing those like montages of him like chucking the shield like 50 yards out and having it come back to him. That's not something a regular ass man should be able to do, right?
Walker's not a regular ass man. I thought he was juiced.
No. That's the whole point of this episode, that he wasn't juiced before this episode. This specifically. This episode, you know that, right? He picked up the serum that was left over after Zemo broke all the other ones.
Yeah.
So he was not juiced before this, right?
I thought he was holding on. Oh, maybe I got the wrong read on that. I thought he held it for his buddy or something.
No. Because they had that moment in this.
Oh, shit. He's really not juiced?
That's my point. That's what I'm asking right now. He's like,
he was doing.
Yes.
He's juiced. He has to be juiced. He did that whole truck scene. Like,
the what?
That shit was crazy.
But he was still
the whole truck combat. He was fighting the shield break or the flag breakers.
But
those guys are super juiced. Like,
he was doing the same sort of maneuvers that Hawkeye and Black Widow were doing back in the day. Then they're human, right?
Oh, I don't know, man.
What?
Well, I had that thing
Daredevil
where it
does
was
that
like
stuff. Punisher does that stuff.
I have it in the comments right here. It was interesting that his buddy,
yeah, I know,
Lamar,
yeah,
just straight up dies. Like, that's the thing. Like, you see Hawkeye, Black Widow, Falcon even take shots harder than that.
Yeah,
and they're still alive.
That's
they're human. They're not genetically enhanced. Like, I feel like I honestly thought he was already juiced.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I completely missed that.
Well, that's the whole. Yes, you did, because he's talking about it. He talked about multiple times in this episode where he talked to, what's the guy's name that died? Lamar. He talks to Lamar in the food court. He's like, "Would you take it? If you had the chance to take it, would you?" Right. That's the whole thing of him being conflicted about taking it or not. Yeah, because why would he? Why would he pick it up and not need it? Why would he hide it if he didn't need it? Right.
Well, like I said, I thought he wasn't. I thought he was picking it up for his buddy. And if his buddy's like, right, hell yeah, and then he just had not given him the vial before the murking.
So now that we know that he wasn't juiced, how does that work? How was it working? How was this? Was it a lighter shield or?
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, to go back to that question, I don't think the shield is any different. I don't think vibranium is naturally like super heavy. It's not like Thor's hammer.
Right.
The shield, I don't think the shield has any like you got to be worthy to use this properly. Like the Wakandan guard, the female guard, I forget what their name is because it's crazy, but they have vibranium spears, and I just always assumed that it was just like a metal, like Game of Thrones, like what the hell was that? Valiant steel. Like it's just this metal that's super strong, super sharp. It's got perfect balance. I thought it was just something like that.
Yeah. The Dora Milaje is the female.
Yeah, Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje, yep. Very cool.
So it wasn't that hard to say. Yeah, I just think that vibranium's like the perfect metal.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's lightweight, yet still packs a punch. Yeah.
Yep. Who is the power broker? Thunderbolt Ross is one name we didn't mention last week. It could be definitely him.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
He's the guy from the Civil War when he's doing the whole Sokovian Accord. He's writing it up, right? He is the guy with the mustache in Hulk. He's Hulk's enemy in that movie. He is played by John Hurt.
Ah, that dude. All right, yeah.
Yes.
Mustache.
That mustache, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah, I know who that is.
He was highly involved and interested in the Super Soldier Serum program in the Hulk, because that's basically the Super Soldier Serum can make a lot of guys, right? It made Cap, obviously, and it made Bucky, but also it's basically the same formula that made the Hulk, but it just got, mixed up and shit, and the Hulk Bruce Banner already had stuff in him, I guess is what they're saying, that made him like he was. But also the Abomination, what came from him. So the Super Soldier Serum has been a thing that's been, used quite a bit back in the day. So yeah, he'll be highly interested in getting that serum. And so what we really haven't been talking about, what they keep bringing up on stuff like Vanity Fair, is the fact that what is the black guy's name? They said it like 3 times today. I forgot his name. Apologize. But
Battlestar.
No, the older guy, the one they visited that one time in episode 2, I think, in his house.
Oh.
So the
OG super soldier.
Yes, the only super soldiers left on Earth, right, are Carly. You have Carly and maybe some of her henchmen. You have Bucky. You have now John Walker, and you have the older black man that I can't remember his name. But the idea is that they are going to be either kidnapped or somehow have their blood used, their blood taken to make more super soldier serums from them, because of all the serums were now, the ones that were in play were all broken by Zemo. Now what's going to have to happen is the only serums left, or the only remnants of the serum are in people's blood, right? So all of the people that have the serum in them are in danger of being held hostage or taken hostage or used as chess pieces. And the one that's most vulnerable, people are saying, is unfortunately the black man. I can't remember his name. I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
Yes.
So
the old super soldier.
The old man. Yeah.
The original one.
The original guy.
That blows my mind. That was revealed that it was this episode where everyone knew that John Walker did not have the serum.
Yep.
Before this, though, was it assumed that he was a super soldier?
No. That is the entire
Wow.
What do you call it? The entire theme of this episode was him wrestling with the choice of taking it or not.
No. I understand this episode, but like prior 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone was talking about.
We made to believe that he had that.
That was
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's where my confusion was, and it kind of diminishes a little bit what I was getting at too. I forgot the Wakandan Women's Force.
The Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje. When he had that, when he got his ass kicked by them, I was like, oh shit, like they just beat his ass. He's a super soldier. And then he said something like, they weren't even like super soldiers. That's why I thought he was already enhanced at that point, because he was like, I thought he was trying to brute force something, and he just realized, hey, like I just got my ass kicked by people that aren't super soldiers. And that's why he had that weird reaction where he's like, they're not even super soldiers. Like,
that's why
it makes more sense that if he's not juiced up, then he got his ass kicked by him because he underestimated Wakandan forces who are going to jack up anybody's day. And Falcon even gave him that warning. But yeah, like, I don't know. Now that misses the mark because I thought he was already enhanced at that point and they just beat a super soldier's ass.
No.
And that's why he was like, oh, what? What just happened?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so it completely recontextualizes the entire show for you then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So the man I keep forgetting the name of was Isaiah Bradley from the second episode, played by Carl Lumley. So yeah, let's talk about the Dora Milaje, that fight scene. Io literally disarms Bucky, which was interesting. I wonder how many going forward, how many people know that little secret trick now. I wonder if Sam watched her
Falcon
do it.
Does. Falcon's gonna remember.
Yeah, Falcon's remember how to do it. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks for him.
He's like, did you know they could do that? No.
I love the anytime post Dark Knight, anytime anybody says, "Where is she?" I never think of fucking Batman.
Yep. I heard it too.
Yep.
Heard it too.
So let's talk about the plot. Not going to do a point by point. We haven't been doing that because that takes forever. But so the ending, basically, let's say what the ending is. Again, full spoilers for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4, and all of the comics canon, all of the MCU going forward and backwards. It ends with John Walker murdering a man in broad daylight, in front of a crowd. I think he decapitated this guy. Pretty clear.
No, I didn't decapitate him.
He did.
Caved in his chest.
No. If you go back and look at the actual, what's her name? Joanna Robinson had the same question. She thought he caved in his chest too. But if you look at the way his body is resting and they position the camera specifically so you don't see the guy's head in one of the shots. So he cut off his head with the shield. So he killed the guy in broad daylight. It's a direct comparison to Civil War, especially with Cap not killing anybody. In that he could have killed Tony, could have done that, but he used the shield as a weapon to disarm his arc reactor instead of killing him. So that is, if you're looking for any direct images or any direct comparisons to old Cap, then that is it. That is it right there.
Oh, that's what you're getting at. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So yeah.
How do you like the guy that admitted that he looked up to Captain America?
Yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah.
Literally died looking up at Captain America. That
last shot is intense for many reasons, but also we're looking at him from the victim's point of view. Again, yeah, you're right. The guy looked up to him, and he is literally looking up to him at the end. That's very
literally heartbreaking.
Insanely.
Literally.
Sure. Yeah, just horrible ending. One of the most distressing images in the MCU so far.
Blood on the shield. Shit was wild.
It is wild. It's fucking crazy.
See, and he does this thing too, where he goes in like this trance, like he's just like bugging out, like and he does it a lot in the last few episodes. That's another reason why I thought he was all jacked up, because the super soldier thing, the serum, I thought they were getting at saying that sometimes it has reactions, and I thought that the serum was having a reaction with him, and that's why he was having that conversation with Battlestar, where it's just like, oh yeah, power just makes you more you, and it was just kind of like this was him coming out, like, because of the serum was like turning him into, it was reacting a certain way.
Yeah.
And see, and that's another thing. He didn't have the serum at that point, so he's just having like these weird mental like twitches, like mental break, where he's just like, you can see the gears turning in his head. Like, am I about to snap? You know, I'm about to become a bad guy. Like, it doesn't make sense now. Like, this is a dude that had like a bunch of Medal of Honors, and he's like this big deal, and he's having all these like little episodes where it's like, I don't know, he's fighting with himself.
Yeah.
It would have made sense if the serum was in there and he was fighting with the serum and the power coursing through his veins. That would have made sense. Now I'm so confused to what John Walker actually is.
What do you mean?
I don't like the direction that this is taken.
What do you mean you're not sure what he is?
Well, I thought he was already jacked up, and I thought all this time where he was having these episodes was just him trying to cope with all this power in his body, and just
no.
It was reacting weird with his mind or something, and he was chemically imbalanced, and now it turns out that he's kind of a psychopath already, and having the super soldier serum is going to just make him an unbearable psychopath. Well, basically Homelander.
I'm trying to find the quote here.
Jerking off over top of Avengers Tower.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the quote here from Erskine. What Erskine said to Captain America in the first Avenger, right? The serum just enhances who you already are. Good becomes great.
Right.
Bad becomes worse. So they were knowing that he doesn't have the serum in him from the beginning, right? You already know he's not a good person. You just know this based on what they said about him. You know, you can't just punch your way out of things anymore. And just his whole persona and his whole tone and his whole body language going forward, you just know he's not a good person, right? So you're fearing the fact that you're dreading if he does get the serum, because you know based on the way he's acting and his the allusions to who he was before, you know already based on the fact that we've been told that the serum enhances who you are intrinsically inside of you, right? You know that if he does take the serum, he's going to become an even worse person, right?
Yeah. I'm already there. I've already expected this out of him for the last 3 episodes. So now that he finally took the serum, yeah, all right, I'm already there, ready for him to become this asshole that he's supposed to already have been in my eyes. And he is. You're right, too, because he was talking to Battlestar or whatever about his Medal of Honors, because he was gassing him up like, you got 3 Medal of Honors, like blah blah blah, and he's just like, we both know that what I did to get these Medal of Honors aren't very honorable, kind of things.
Exactly.
He's like,
exactly.
Medal of Honors are there just to remind you of the worst day of your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are right. He whatever they commend him for, he did probably some messed up shit to get those things.
Let me just say the whole quote, because it's a really great quote. Erskine says to Cap, "This is why you were chosen, because the strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power, but a weak man who knows the value of strength and knows compassion. Whatever happens tomorrow, you must promise me one thing, that you will stay who you are, not a perfect soldier, but a good man." And John Walker, right, according to the Army, or whatever division he was in, they awarded him these medals for being a perfect soldier, right? They did what they asked him to do, right? He follows orders no matter what they are. And that just shows you that going forward, the serum, and just the fact that he's just taken it just now, and what we've already seen of him, just taking the serum that one time and seeing what it has done to him just in these first few minutes, it's very scary. Thinking what could happen in the future, right? Yeah.
I guess that does kind of explain why him and Bucky and him and Falcon never actually came to blows until this episode. Probably because he knew he would get shit on.
Yeah.
Because he's not a super soldier.
I asked you a couple of weeks ago who is the antagonist versus the villain of the show. I think the antagonist of the show has been established that it's the Flag Smashers and it's Carly. Do you think that with the events of the end of this episode, that it's established that John Walker is the villain of this whole show?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, after what he just did, I could see them putting a positive spin on it just because, he's Captain America. He had to do what he had to do. These are terrorists, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I still think the Power Broker,
yeah.
or whatever that's
Who
supposed
that person
to be.
is, yeah.
Yeah. That's also the villain, but I think those worlds are going to collide where the Power Broker and this Captain America team up or something like that. So ultimately all the evil is going to be on one side when the chips fall. But yeah, he's solidified himself as a villain now, especially without his good moral compass in his buddy Battlestar.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Yep, he had the angel on his shoulder that's not there anymore, unfortunately. Okay, yeah. So I think that's about do it. Unless you had anything else you want to talk about from this episode.
I just want to say that Zemo is super good at dipping out.
Yeah, right.
Like it almost got annoying at a point where it's like, okay, they were all together and then he's just like gone. Oh yeah, I forget the guy they referenced, but he crawled through the manhole underneath the toilet, and then what's that?
No, sorry, I was just trying to think. Was that I feel like he got away like 3 times in this episode, or was it? Wasn't?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And at one point, he was literally handcuffed.
Yeah,
and he got out of that. What can restrain this man? I have no idea.
Yeah,
he just dips.
Yeah, very very good show. I think this is I feel like the entire show has been up to this point has been like a roller coaster, and it's been at that point in the roller coaster where it's just going tick 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 up to the top up to the apex, right? And you're just not there hasn't been that big like holy shit moment. I think we finally hit it in this episode.
Yeah, this was a hedge.
Yeah.
You had something in here that said it was a funny quote from Falcon where he's just going to engage you and do a stupid head tilt thing. He was talking about Zemo. Yeah. And Zemo was in the process of doing the head tilt, and then he heard what Sam said, and he straightened up like, oh. But then, I mean, he's saying that about the villain kind of. You would assume Zemo is the villain. They still treat him like he's the villain. And ultimately, I do believe he's still the villain. He told the kids to act like those.
Oh, yeah.
That Sam and Bucky are bad people. So he's still kind of like working his escape, his official escape, not the 3 times I'm going to dip and you'll find me again. Zemo's going to get away and he's going to become some kind of power again. Yep. But anyways, the head tilt thing, it's funny because Falcon was directing that at Zemo as if they're all treating him like he's still the bad guy. And then there was a scene where Cap, he does the head tilt. Like he saw the soldier thing, the serum on the floor, and he does the head tilt. And it's like, see, there's a little foreshadow right here. Like the villain that you're talking about, these are the mannerisms that villains do, and he's doing it.
Yep. Exactly. So that'll do it for discussion on this week's episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. Can't wait for episode 5. They're saying it's going to pop off. Malcolm Spellman has said that it's going to pop off next episode, so I can definitely see how that's possible with the ending of this episode. Okay, so let me go take a break real quick. We're going to take a break before our full spoiler-filled review of Netflix's Bad Trip. Be right back. And we're back for our review of the Netflix film Bad Trip.
Seeing Maria today, that was a positive omen. Maria!
Oh my God,
I haven't seen her forever.
If you're ever in Manhattan, I'll show you around.
Great.
Okay. Yes.
I'll see you
great
later.
Seeing you, Chris.
Look at our lives, man. Spinning our wheels. Bullshit job after bullshit job.
Can you just hit that on switch on the vacuum for me? Thanks, man.
Oh my God, turn it off! Oh, I'm gonna get fired again. Oh, shit.
It's finally time for that big adventure, brother. I'm talking road trip to the motherfucking promised land. The NYC.
We're not taking my sister's car, man. He will kill us. Your sister's in jail. She'll never know.
Oh my God!
Don't kill nobody. I'll kill every single one of you white motherfuckers. Snitches get stitches.
We got 4 whole days.
Bad Trip is a new film on Netflix, directed by Kitao Sakurai, starring Eric Andre, Little Rel Howery, and Tiffany Haddish. Dion, what did you think of Bad Trip?
I didn't like it.
And they'll do it for episode 111 of the Can I Say Something podcast. See you next week.
Yep. I've been DH. Later.
Why? Why?
No,
Explain
man.
yourself.
I don't like it because, okay, I liked Borat, all right? Jackass was funny because it was just a bunch of dudes, getting hurt. Did I think Jackass needed to become a movie? No, not at all. That's just basically a compilation of clips that got all jammed together. And here's my thing. Borat was probably the one thing that I watched that the format of it felt like a movie. Maybe it was the way it was filmed or whatever, but I understand that this was Sacha Baron Cohen going out acting like Borat, doing all the stuff, and these people's reactions were genuine. Something missed the mark here with this one with with
Eric Andre.
what was it? What's his name?
Eric Andre.
Yeah, Eric Andre. It's just it's tough. Like this just felt like it should have been like a compilation of sketch comedies. Between the car scene in the beginning, like it kicks off at the car, or he's getting his car worked on or cleaned or whatever, and his girlfriend shows up and suddenly he's naked. Like it's like this just seems like a prank show. The whole thing was just prank show. And really the only time I felt that I laughed was like the body humor where he got his hand stuck in the blender. But even that just seems like so contrived. You're watching him do it and his hand's just creeping close to the blender, and it's like you knew exactly he was going to put his hand in the blender. So I don't know. It's just it was not a great movie to me. I don't really know what to say other than that.
Not a great movie.
I didn't laugh too much. And if you watch an Eric Andre show, this is probably, just 3 episodes glued together.
Okay.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. A couple things that I think might change your reaction to this movie. One is seeing this in theaters with people. This is definitely a movie to be seen in a theater with a bunch of people just going, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ, no!" Because that was my reaction to this entire movie. Holy fuck! Just cringing and just being like, "Oh, stop, please don't fucking do that." Just this visceral reaction that you have while watching certain things, where just a person just embarrassing themselves. And there's a couple different things going through my head right now. I'm trying to sort them all out, but it's basically just like, who is the victim of a jackass stunt? It's always them, right? It's always the guys themselves. In Borat, it is like he takes other people and makes them sort of the victim, and sort of makes them the what did I just say? The not the victim, but the person that's being joked upon, right? The jokey is the other people, like the
subject.
The subject of the joke is the other people in Borat. Yeah. And this is very much like, I don't know, it's like a mix of the two. It's like he is the victim, obviously, when he has clothes ripped off, or he's, has a dick, and the guy in Laura Howley has his dick attached by a Chinese finger trap.
That was ridiculous. Jesus.
So this is, again,
the gorilla at the zoo thing.
That
was ridiculous.
I don't know how. Let me just say this real quick. Did you watch this till the end? Did you watch the end credits?
I didn't. No, okay, so I fell asleep, I believe, in the last 10 minutes, and I just never went back to finish it.
I think that would have changed completely your recontextualize this movie again, like recontextualizing things you watched this week. I think this would have helped do that, because at the end he just pops out and says, we're filming a thing here. This didn't really happen. And everyone's like, oh my fucking God. So it's very much, I think that really does sum up what he's trying to get across. Is just being like, yeah, I'm gonna make myself the victim. I'm gonna make myself the fool, and you guys just hang out for the ride and watch me be a fool. That's a very interesting idea. And also on top of that, this movie has many layers. Like they were saying on the big picture this week, it has so many different interesting things going on at the same time, because you said it doesn't really have a theme, or it's not a movie, but it does. It literally does. There's Tiffany Haddish is playing his sister, who he takes her car, and she quote unquote gets out of jail, which I saw a clip of this on TikTok or Reddit. And there's the scene where she escapes jail, and she falls out of the bottom of a supposed prison bus.
Yep.
And this guy sees her, and she's like, "Yo, you see any cops around here?" And the guy's like, "You need to get the fuck out of here. Get your clothes off. Get the fuck out of here." And she's like, thank you so much. Yep. And then a cop comes by, and he's like, "Did you see a fucking convict, a escaped convict?" And the guy's like, "Honestly, shit.
Go that way.
So
go that way. What do you mean go that way? Go that way.
So there's
I'm not snitching, but go that way, kind of thing.
Yeah, there is
but see that's the thing too. What? That scene where she kept coming back. She's like, "Oh man, I just want to say thank you. You're being so nice. And if this was I struggle to call this a movie. I understand that's what it's called on the surface. This is a movie. This is an hour and a half presentation, so thus making it a movie.
What
basically.
The fuck?
But
go ahead. If you can't call this a movie,
But
how
the
can you call
thing is-
Borat a movie? Borat's a fucking movie because it has the same like light.
That's right.
It has a light narrative, the
Borat-
lightest narrative
and
you
I
could possibly
preface
call
that.
it.
I preface that Borat was the only thing that I've watched like this that I've actually felt was a movie.
Well, what's the difference?
I said Borat felt like a movie.
What's the
This
difference?
did not feel like a movie to me, and it was egregious at times where she just like she would come back and be like, "Oh, thank you." She came back like 7 times
That's
to say
the joke.
thank you, and it's like,
That's
all
the
right,
joke. You
the
got
joke is
woofed.
get-
You are the
getting thin.
whooshy. You are the whooshy.
I'm the whooshy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You are.
I'm not the wussy. I understand what they're doing, and it was lost on me. It wasn't vibing.
You got
I
lost
say it
on
wasn't
you,
lost
so
on me.
you're
I
the
understand what
wussy.
they're doing. It wasn't vibing with me.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the other thing that
I mean, they could have cut that in half, and I understand she kept coming back because it's just like,
Okay.
like this is ridiculous. I'm going to add to the ridiculousness here.
All right.
And that's what it was
We're
doing. It added too much ridiculousness
Let's
to
get-
it
let's
for me to sit there and
get
be
off
like,
that
okay,
one
okay,
scene.
I get it.
There's
I get
another
it.
layer. What I was saying before was that
It wasn't
there's
just
layers.
one scene. It wasn't just one
But you're
scene.
saying you're talking about that one scene for 5 minutes.
But
Let's get off
okay,
that
we'll
one
say
scene.
for another example, the gorilla scene.
Yep.
Where he goes in, gets a selfie, and the gorilla just has his way with him. And then he leaves, and then he's just like, I wanted to get a selfie with the gorilla for her. And they're like, will she do that for you? And he's like, no. He's just like, why are you doing it for her? And then he realizes his phone's in there, and he has to go back in there with the gorilla and get his phone. He gets his phone, the gorilla gets on him again.
Okay.
They did it twice. If he had gone in there a third time, nope.
No,
I'm done.
You're done. Okay.
So they did that part right.
Okay.
That was funny to me. But for the instance with the woman getting, coming back 7 times to apologize, no.
Okay. Let me
So there were hits and misses in it, and generally there are more misses than hits. I feel like.
let me reference what they were saying on the big picture, which I agree with, and also why this movie worked for me and Thunder Force didn't, which is that it is taking the rom-com trope, right? All the tropes of the rom-com of like, oh my God, that girl over there, she's my high school sweetheart and I loved her. And that part where he's in the yogurt shop and he's looking at the card, and that's a thing they do in rom-coms all the time of like the dude just getting transfixed by this woman and going in his own little world and thinking about her and for 10 minutes. If you work in a yogurt shop and you're doing that in real life, this is what would happen. People are gonna be like, "Shut the fuck up, dude! Fuck her!
Yeah.
Fuck the card! Give me my customer service that I'm here for. Shut the fuck up about the girl."
Yeah.
And then him going
We
on
were
the
in
bus.
line. Why did she get to cut the line? We were in line.
Yeah, exactly. We're in line.
Oh, she's VIP.
She's VIP. I don't give a fuck. So he's taking all of these tropes of the rom-com universe, right, that we've seen a million times, and applying them to the real world, which I thought was fucking fascinating. That's the thing about this movie is that Thunder Force didn't do. Thunder Force was this straight ahead, like straight up superhero comedy that I've seen a million times, done a million times. They're not riffing on it. They're not making it interesting. They're not turning it on its head. They're just doing that straight ahead. That's why I was like, yeah, okay, you did the thing. You did the thing well. You did sort of well, but you just did one thing and you did it like straight ahead. No, there was no irony to it whatsoever. This movie is, taking those ideas of what a rom-com was and being like, hey, what if a bus just gets stopped and this guy's like, Bud, I've learned my lesson. I've seen the error in my ways. You're my friend. I'm sorry we fought. Can you please just go with me? And he's like, Lil Rel Hell, he's like, man, you thought you were just come on this bus and just make this big speech, make this big event, and you're just gonna convince me? And he's like, well, you did. And it's that fucking moment and every fucking rom-com. And I was like, there's no way these people in real life are gonna clap. That part kind of pissed me off. You're talking about parts that piss you off. That part pissed me off a little bit. Where you have these stories on Reddit of people being like, this thing happened and everybody clapped. Everybody loved it. And that's not gonna happen in real life. But apparently, I don't know, once a time, I guess it does. I don't know. But yeah, it's just taking all of these tropes of the rom-com and applying them to the real world. And I've never really seen that done before, and I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the approach they took, or maybe the topic they picked. Obviously, you can't go out and do. You could, but I don't know. Borat was chasing after Pamela Anderson, so I guess that was a little bit of a love story. But yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. The difference between Thunder Force and this, I thought, was Thunder Force was presented as as an actual movie. Like you could feel it had that movie vibe. It was like watching I don't know, literally any movie. This just felt like a bunch of sketch comedy skits like smashed into each other, and I don't know. maybe it was me. Maybe it's my stereotype of what I believe a movie should be. It's just I find sketch shows very complicated to be viewed as a movie. And another thing is you're talking about like the bus scene and what aggravated you and everything. At what point? It's hard sometimes for me in this situation when you're presenting a movie to me like this that I'm supposed to understand that these are actual people getting pranks pulled on them and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like, the gorilla scene, for instance, that wasn't a real gorilla. And it was very obvious that was a man in a gorilla suit.
Oh, right. Okay.
So all those people there are, like, they have to understand that was a man in a suit.
Yes.
So the question I start asking myself when I see every scene is like, who is in on this joke? There has to be somebody in on this. Are all these people in on it? Are only half the people in these things like actual genuine reactions, and the other people are just going along with it? Like when they were in the yogurt shop and he's using his hand, like that woman seemed genuinely pissed.
Yeah.
So like that would make sense that that was a genuine reaction. But at the same time, I feel like those people would be like people that would get their faces blurred out or something like that in a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's my hang up with movies like this. I suppose.
Speaking of like who was in on it and being like genuine reactions, I was worried. I was worried for these actors in this movie of being like, didn't she ever like approach a cop and being like, where can I get this thing or whatever, right? Tiffany Haddish talked to that guy.
Like she stole a cop car.
She stole a cop car. Like, how is she not murdered? I thought she was, you have to be a person in 2021 aware of like a black woman just stole a cop car. She's getting fucking shot. Somebody's shooting her for doing that. I can't believe they did that.
So clearly the cop had to be in on it. He had to be an actor that's part of it, getting like straight up paid for it or something like that.
Yes.
But how do you not draw the attention of other people? That's the thing with these things. Like they shoot for this. This is a genuine reaction. These people don't know what's going on around them. You would assume, but at the same time, how do they get away with all of this stuff? And I guess that's the same kind of thing I have with Borat too. Like the cops got to get called on you eventually. And then you have to like explain this to him. And I know Eric Andre, he's zany and he's had his situations. But it's just, I don't know. It's like you're saying, like, it's just like, at what point is it like, has it become too much? And you're concerned for these actors. Like, I understand exactly what you're trying to say. Or not what you're trying to say, what you said.
I mean,
but,
at a certain point,
I don't know.
They had to close off a certain like block radius or something, right? Because at the end of this movie, Tiffany Haddish busts through the wall of the art studio, so they had to make sure people weren't near the wall, right, when that car came in. So they had to had to sort of corral people at a certain point to be like, hey, look over here, or don't stand there, stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely parts of this that had to be not scripted, but suggested that people stand certain places. I love the part at the end where Tiffany Haddish has Eric Andre on the wall, and people are like standing down there and yelling at him, being like, "Don't do it! He's not worth it!" And Eric Andre is like, "Can I get some more input? Anybody else want to have say something here, please? You on the left there. What do you think about this?" That's hilarious. No? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. No, I thought it was that was hilarious. Okay. Or I'm like even that bar scene too, where he's puking all over everybody.
Yes.
Like how are punches not being thrown at a certain point?
So again, if you watch the end of this, the entire bar was in on it.
Okay. Yeah. See, okay. That I
except
guess I needed to
except for the
stay
one
away
girl
for those last 10 minutes or something. That makes a lot of sense. Like you find out people are actually involved in these things. Okay. Then
when I say the entire bar, you remember the girl that was like, "This man needs immediate medical attention." She was not in on it.
Yeah.
She was not. She was the one that wasn't in on it. So yeah. Yeah, you gotta go back and watch the end of it because it was really good. It was really good how figuring out like where they put the cameras. Remember when he busts? Remember at the very beginning of the movie where he busts through that glass plate door and the
thought it was open.
He thought it was open. I'm sorry. And the woman, the maid, comes out of the door and like crouches behind the stairs. At the end of the
she tried to dip onto the table and then like she leaves the house.
She left the house
behind the stairs.
They come up and ask her like, "What were you doing? What were you thinking?" And she's like, "I thought he was being chased by somebody and somebody else was going to come barreling through. I was just trying to get out of the way of somebody else coming through." So yeah,
I thought she might have confused it for a gunshot or something, so that's why she was trying to get under the table or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the entire beginning was fucking weird too, right? Because he's busting through fucking fences and shit, putting his shirt on. Yeah, there was a bunch of scenes at the end. You gotta go back and watch the last 10 minutes. It's actually one of those things where the outtakes or the extra parts were actually some of them were funnier than the movie itself. But yeah, it does make sense at the end if you watch how it was made and where the cameras were and where the set was put up. Yeah, there was. If you look at how it was put together, it was actually really cool. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was it's all context. It's if we went and saw this in theaters with a packed house on a Friday night, people would be fucking dying. I think you would have absorbed some of that. You would have absorbed some people being like, "Holy fuck! No, he didn't fucking do that." Go ahead.
Yeah, if I had the vibe with everybody else too, yeah, I could see you saying that, or I could double down and be like, "Oh, this shit is ridiculous." Like if somebody next to me was like, "This is too ridiculous," I'd be like, "Yeah, no," I'd start vibing with that. I don't know, could have gone.
When did you?
And it's actually kind of interesting because I was browsing Reddit one day and somebody was talking about Eric Andre, whatever, and they're comparing clips and they played the gorilla clip. I clicked on the link and I was watching the gorilla scene.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is ridiculous. And then that was actually part of this movie. And I'm like, oh shit, they pulled this from. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But that's the kind of thing, like that thing on a standalone value of that just seems like it could have been a sketch from his show.
Yeah.
Just a clip from some kind of America's Funniest Home Videos. And I would have never expected that was like in that movie or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fucking crazy. What was I going to say? Yeah, you are, maybe you wouldn't, because think back to seeing Endgame, which is, came out 2 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. But we were there opening night. People are freaking out, clapping and cheering and shit. And you're just sitting there like, very respectfully, quietly watching this movie. So maybe the audience reaction doesn't really bleed into you, right?
Yeah, right. If I didn't even flinch for Endgame, you think I was going to flinch for this one?
No.
I did laugh pretty hard when he stuck his hand in the blender.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that for both of these movies, I'll say Thunder Force 2 because there was the mix up here. But what got me the most in both these movies was the body humor, like stuff that the physical comedy of it.
Yeah.
Bad things that happened to Andre, bad things that happened to Melissa McCarthy's character.
Okay.
Like those were the best parts of this.
All right. So,
and I guess that's the thing too. You're looking at it like that's kind of means that was a dumb movie. Both were dumb movies because the funniest part to me is someone getting hurt. And that's probably a sign of this being a dumb movie when there's nothing else that like kind of hooks you. There's no story to it or anything like that.
I will agree. They probably will not win anything at the upcoming Oscars. I will give you that.
Wait, let's not go that
far. So that was our review of Bad Trip. It's on Netflix now. You can go see it. I would highly recommend. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 25 minutes. Very short and sweet.
Yeah, listen to this review. 6 out of 10. Better than Nomadland. Why am I comparing it to Nomadland? Because it's basically the same format, except this film succeeds at it because it didn't have to be pretentious.
Okay. Didn't have to be pretentious. Okay. All right. That's fine. You're comparing doo-doo with apples. Not apples to oranges. You're comparing apples to doo-doo. So that's interesting.
Oscar favorite. I think they were in the future and they heard what you said, so that's why they compared it to an Oscar favorite after you just said that neither of those movies will win any kind of Oscar.
Yeah, well, if you watch the movie Idiotland, what's that? Idiocracy. I watched that movie and they have like a montage of what's been going on in the past like 1,000 years. What's his name? Luke Wilson gets frozen, wakes up in like the year 3000 or whatever, and they said like, in the year 2342. The Oscar-winning movie was just a man farting in front of the camera for 3 hours. So it's possible. So it's at a certain point, it probably will get to that point. So, yeah. Anywho, so that was everything we wanted to talk about, and I didn't put anything into the upcoming thing because I'm a bad host. But come back next week while we talk about for sure the things that for sure.
What's next week?
Huh?
What's next week? We're still like 2 weeks away from Mortal Kombat. Damn it!
Yeah, 2 weeks away from that. There's something else that was coming out in April 20 something, but definitely for sure that I know we will be reviewing Falcon and the Soldier episode 5. Maybe some horror movies. I'm gonna finish up Mike Nichols' book. So yeah, come back for more of that. If you enjoyed that,
I'll be watching Witcher.
The Witcher. Yep. So you're gonna finish out The Witcher as well. So I'll let you know if I hit Grand Champion in Rocket League. So yeah, those are some things you can come back for.
Wait.
I said I wasn't sure what we had.
Oh, I beat Outer Worlds.
You got to write this shit down, man. You got to write down. Behind the scenes.
I forgot that I beat Outer Worlds.
Behind the scenes. What do you call it? How the sausage is made, right? I have an outline, right? And I try to send it to you early so you have time to put things in there that you do during the week. And I sent a thing to you and I said, here's some questions for what was it, Winter Soldier. And you're like, yep, those are questions. Yep. So you have
I answered
so
them.
so much time to do the thing.
You don't need to lecture me on the outline. I'm the one that wrote the outline, so you can show it to me in a presentable format.
Okay, making a format is different than actually filling it out. I want to hear.
Sure, but I'm just saying.
I'm not mad.
You don't need
I'm
to explain an
disappointed.
outline to me because I know all about the outline.
I'm disappointed that
made
you
the
forgot to
outline
put that
for
on
you to
there
fill
because
in.
I'm interested in what you have to say about that video game. That now we're out of time. You could have done the beginning, bud, but now we're out of time.
Well, guess what? You're gonna wait till next week.
Now you're gonna
wait till next week because I don't want to tell you this week.
I don't want to hear it.
It's not you saying that I'm. It's me telling you. You wait until next week.
All right. Anyways, so can I say something? I'm Damien.
You know you can't raise your voice to me. Your voice is given out. You don't want this show to go longer. I can talk forever. Try me.
I'm Damien.
I've been Deej.
See you next week. Bye-bye.